Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures continued. Issue number 10 from IDW. So yeah, this is part 2 of the Sword of Eddiku. The circle isn't really that flat. Weird title, but we start off with a recap. So for anyone who hasn't been following along or reading this yourself, basically there's this meteorite that falls and it has these magic powers that in the past was made to create a sword that can cut open dimensions. And Shredder wants it so that he can create a portal to Dimension X. And in the present day, another piece of this meteorite falls and he gets the ancestor of the original sword maker to create a replica of the sword. And he uses it to rob banks at first because right now the sword is kind of weak and it needs to charge up before he can cut open portals to other dimensions. The Turtles get involved, and in the process of being involved, Leo and Shredder get sent to the past. And that's basically where we are now. So we actually start off still in the present day with the rest of the Turtles talking to Professor McGuffin, and they're trying to figure out what happened to Leo and how can they get him back. And they don't really get too much answers from him. But that's when we cut to the past where we have Shredder and Leo, and they happen to be in ancient Japan. And it just so happens that these samurais show up, and one of the people with the samurais is the original sword maker. And Shredder recognizes him, and he decides, okay, these guys are gonna like arrest me. They're gonna arrest both Shredder and Leo because they are upset that the two of them have slowed down the samurais because they have an appointment and they're running late because of Leo and Shredder. So Shredder runs away. Leo gets captured, and when Leo wakes up, he's tied to the sword maker. And it turns out that the reason the sword maker is now also a victim is because the new owner of the sword, the one that this sword maker was making the sword for, believes that the sword is cursed. Because as soon as the sword was being delivered, that's when this turtle spirit or this kappa showed up. So because of that, they believe, okay, this sword is cursed. You're trying to curse me. So they're tying him up to get answers from him. And Leo just breaks out of his binds. And that's when the Lord Hayao shows up. And he's questioning about the sword and is it cursed? And Leo basically fights him and kicks his ass. And that's when Shredder shows up to steal the sword. And meanwhile, back with the brothers, Rennet eventually shows up. Yeah, we get a little bit of her. It's kind of funny because there's different versions of Rennet depending on what you watch or read. So Rennet is from the original Mirage run. She's from Volume 1 when the Turtles go back into the past. And she starts off like as an airhead. And eventually she becomes a mistress of time. But she's still like not really that smart. She's very naive and stuff. In other iterations, like some of the cartoons, I think they portray her as more sophisticated and intelligent. I like the fact that here, because Rennet never showed up in the original cartoon series. So this comic book is the first time that we have a Saturday morning cartoon version of her. And here it's a little bit more faithful to the original portrayal of her, where she is kind of naive and I'll just be honest, she's kind of stupid. She's kind of airheaded. The Turtles, basically they talk with her and she tells them that Leo is stuck in the past, specifically ancient Japan, and that she's not like allowed to help the Turtles because it goes against the rules. But they kind of are able to trick her into helping. I say trick, but trick like in quotation marks. Basically, what they're saying is that when Rennet originally showed up, she said that there was a problem that the 4 turtles needed to solve. But right now, there's only 3 turtles. So Raphael is like, well, wait. You said that the problem was with 4 of us. Like, it was a problem that 4 of us needed to deal with, right? She's like, yeah. And he's like, well, then that means that Leo's going to come back at some point. So if you help us, you're not interfering with history. You're just streamlining it. He's like, all right, you sold me. Here's what happens. Here's how I'm going to get you out of the situation. And yeah, she basically just like opens up a portal and Leo goes through and the day is saved, kind of. There's more. I don't want to spoil like everything. I will just say that based off the cliffhanger of the last issue, and also based off the cover, which is very much a tribute to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 movie, which was the worst Ninja Turtle movie ever made until Michael Bay's movies came out. Yeah, I've only watched the original Turtles 3 movie like once as a kid and never again because it's that bad. And some people kind of crap on Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, but I actually really enjoy that one. Obviously, it's inferior to number one. Like, number one's the best. In fact, number one and Blade are my favorite comic book movies of all time. But two wasn't all that bad. Three was terrible. So yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny that they're doing a tribute to a terrible movie for their cover. But I was kind of thinking, okay, the Turtles are going to go back into the past, and we're going to have like a scene where they team up with, I don't know, maybe they team up with Splinter's sensei or something, and they retrieve the sword and use the sword to go back into the future, our present day. I thought maybe that's what was going to happen, but no. Leo's the only one that goes back into the past with Shredder, and he gets brought back to the future, or he gets brought back to the present day very quickly with no problem whatsoever. So it's not like a Deus Ex Machina, really, but it just kind of feels a little bit anticlimactic. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, that problem got solved very quickly. But it's not the end of the arc. This is only part 2 of 3, so there's going to be one more issue with this arc, because Shredder still has control over the sword. So the whole arc with the sword isn't done. Just them going to the past is done, at least for now. But yeah, I don't know. I was a little bit, I don't want to say disappointed, but I was a little bit surprised that their trip to the past wasn't really their trip. It was just Leo's trip, and it was very, very quick. Like, it's basically like in and out, and he's done. So that was kind of interesting. But other than that, I really enjoyed this overall. I like this series. The series is really cool. I love the artwork. Obviously, the writing is good. The writing is like very cartoony, which obviously it works because this is what this series is, a tribute to the Saturday morning cartoon version of the Turtles, and it reads like a Saturday morning episode. So it's nothing like too complicated or anything. This is basically like for kids or for fans of the original cartoon, and it reads like the original cartoon. And because of that, like, you can kind of guess where it's going. Like, I guess in the last episode that I did for the previous issue, that Shredder was going to get his hands on the original sword and use that to get back to our time, and that's what happened. But there are still some crazy twists and turns. I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I like this. The series has still been really good overall. It's fun. It's entertaining. Story feels like a Saturday morning cartoon. The characters are very much the same as the characters. Like, the way they act and stuff are very much the same as how they were in the 80s cartoon series. And the artwork, it looks straight up like the cartoon series. I love it. So, yeah, there you go. There's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Saturday Morning Adventures Continued. Issue number 10 from IDW. Thumbs up. It was great. Looking forward to the next issue. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe. Hit that bell for a notification. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far. And I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see. And I hope to see you guys next time. Later.